Hello, I just got done watching the webinar on using phonics assessment data to inform instruction. I took quite a bit of notes on my laptop, so I'm just going to be referring to what I had written down throughout the video. So let's get started. The first thing that the presenters took a look at was why we assess phonics skills. They said that decoding ability is strongly associated with both reading fluency and reading comprehension. Automaticity depends on establishing high quality mental representations, which is basically just memories of words with their meanings and spellings. So, if you're gonna get to the point of being an automatic reader, you can see words and picture if you see the word street and you see st, you know it's the st sound, right? You don't have to think about it. You just know it. You can just picture other words that start off with st. Kids learn to read faster and better when they know phonics. Makes sense. You can pick up on words that you've never seen before just by knowing the simple foundations of phonics. Teaching phonics enables kids to build a mental support structure for reading new words with ease. It's basically what I just talked about. That's them being able to see new words, but common letter compounds that they've seen, and then they can decipher it without just sounding it out. Reading independently is the overarching goal of teaching phonics. Okay, so by the end of the phonics training, you can give a student a passage. They can read it orally, so you can make sure that they're reading it correctly and understanding what they're reading. They gave They gave 5 different ways to assess phonics. The first one was general outcome measures. This provided an overall measure of skill in a little amount of time, but it does not inform specific instruction. All of these I'm just going to list off. They gave you your pros and then your cons underneath it. So like computer adaptive assessments, one of the biggest pros of this was that you can test many students at the same time. They can all log into computers and run through it. However, it could take from 15 to 60 minutes. So that's a good chunk of your day gone for that, which it's necessary. Obviously, you're not going to be doing computer adaptive assessments 3 days a week, but for benchmarks, you can do it maybe once a month or however you want to go about doing it. In the end, you're the teacher. Then there's the survey, which provides a measure of specific skills, informs specific instruction, and only takes 2 to 5 minutes. But the downfall to this is that it may not match your curriculum. There's diagnostic, where it identifies specific strengths and weaknesses, informs specific instruction, and only takes 2 to 5 minutes. Again, it might not match your curriculum, and it does not assess retention skills. And then the final one they talked about was informal inventories. This was teacher made and can inform instruction. The reliability and validity is unknown since the teacher is making these inventories, and it takes a lot of time to come up with these and edit them. And that is why maybe you would fall to a computer adaptive assessment instead, because these programs are already made for you. Then they talked about how to select a phonics assessment. They gave you 5 critical categories to look for. Is it reliable? Is it valid? Does it make the student read aloud? Because that is a major thing that we are testing. How long of a time this is going to take? That's another one. Does it use nonsense words? And is it available from grades 1st through 5th and on? Then there was 9 different phonics skills shown in the video that teachers should focus on. Each example that they gave us was put into a chart, and they would check if this program did test that skill or not. Another thing to think about is if this program allows for you to see the whole grade level, see how the whole grade level is doing compared to your class. So if you have a program like the computer program that I was talking about earlier, it's easy. You can have the whole grade take it, and then you can take your class out of it and compare it to the whole grade level. So maybe your students are struggling, or maybe they're doing a little better than the grade average. It's nice to be able to see the skills where they are maybe doing a little bit better or a little bit worse. Now they talked about how to use your phonics data to guide instruction at the student level. Step 1 was to score your assessment at the error level. Step 2 was to look for patterns to help determine strengths and weaknesses. And then step 3 was to teach and monitor progress. So that's kind of a little what I was talking about earlier with the taking your class out of the entire grade level and seeing how they're doing. And then finally, they talked about how to use your phonics data to guide instruction at the grade and class level. Step 1 was to compare what has been taught to phonics data at the class and grade level. Step 2 was to determine where to intervene, grade, class, or small group level. And step 3 was to examine grade and class data over time. So with a lot of these programs that they talked about, like the general outcome measures or the survey, a lot of these are going to be given multiple times throughout the year. You want to be able to make sure that what you're assessing highlights a lot of the phonics skills that students need, and then you can go from there to mend your lesson plans and your overarching goals for the year. They can get modified to maybe there's a weakness in this grade level in particular that you need to attack a little more aggressively than you thought. I think the major program that they talked about was Key Phonics. This program tackled like all of the 9 major skills that they talked about as being important for students to learn. And I think